Welcome everyone to today's episode of Planet Nomads. Now I am here kind of standing up above the big section of water next to my base, and you can see just how far out I've managed to already build this link. Now I have started putting vertical posts in to support everything, even though I really don't think I need it all that much at the moment, but I didn't have time to finish because I did change a few things as I was building. I started actually working on some other elements, some adjustments on how it's structured. So we're actually going to go ahead and I'm going to show you kind of what I have done. Now I did realize, and it was mentioned in a comment I saw, that why not put item dispensers up, and I had actually already started testing with that because, hey, you know, item dispenser means I don't have to worry about carrying supplies. I just have to be within range. Fortunately, the item dispensers do work within this range of 20 meters. So basically what I calculate it down to is I do one long post, another long post, and another, which sometimes they are iffy. And I have noticed some weirdness, like even here, weirder than normal. Like one part where it was lined up green, I clicked the button and it then shifted to the side like this and placed, but it stayed in the air. Normally that happens, it actually drops them instead onto the ground below. But basically 4 lengths of the really long ones, then the middle length one, I get one of those, I put 2 of the single connection eye connectors, and then I do the 6-way connector. And the advantage of the new 6-way connector is the fact that, yes, the conveyors have to actually connect into something. So rather than it being a support beam of sorts for everything where like, oh, this is holding it up, and if it breaks, it's just going to drop and be placed on it, or that's going to drop off of it. I realized if I just put the 6-way connector, I can actually connect the blocks straight to it, meaning that it actually is supporting the blocks are supporting it. So you can see, like, I can't place next to that connector on top of it, but I can place it there like that, and that's not where I wanted that one to go. So basically that's why I changed. I do these 4, I do the top corner piece, if it will stop jumping around. It's been doing this a lot to me, and I do that. I'm gonna take that one piece out, and see, no real laggy issues by doing it this way. No weird physics calculations that take forever. And then we'll have that. So basically we got the same design as before, except I added, of course, the extra space on top for the item dispenser to connect in. And you can see I'm still getting, I mean, I'm a little bit past the range of 20 meters to this point for the switchboard to work, and I'm still getting coverage from that connector. The only problem I've had is building the large support strut that I did into the water there in the distance. And you see I still get some lag when I connect to the conveyor system, but just only with the item dispenser, because I guess something with the calculation for what equipment it has access to causes a problem. But you can see that strut there, I got to about the water's level, and that's where I ran out of range and had to actually go get supplies to build down. So I've kind of decided to hold off on building any more of those, at least till I get to a point where the weight is a problem, and then I'm going to go back and decide just how many I want. But basically that's what I'm doing here, and I'll go back to the previous one so I can go ahead and connect the power. But also I need, in this case, because I need to see what number it is, basically I'm naming them for the mining section north, power mining north, and this is number 14, which means the next one's number 15. And while I don't really need them numbered in terms of functionality, I'm not going to say let's turn off 14 and break the chain there. I'm going to have the whole chain turned off regardless. The advantage is it at least gives me a count for how many I used. And if there is ever a break in there, it might help me in isolating where that power break is or the conveyor break is, because I'll be able to go in and look and maybe put like, oh yeah, here's a light that's coming off of this. Oh, well, there's no power going to that point. I may add lights at different points, like every 5, instead of the little beacon one right there like that, adding an actual light. You know, like, let's see, where are they? There, like this one. putting that maybe on the back side or on the top or something like that, you know, some kind of light in some way. I think we actually maybe have a new light option as well, and do that so I can see where the power breaks on it, and maybe also as a way to remind me, hey, this is turned on at the moment. But again, that is just the super long conveyor section, which saves time and effort. Not so much in the way of resources. It's basically, I think, about the same, but it does save time. So 4 of those, and then I go and do the mid-length one. I do 2 single eye connectors followed by the 6-point connector, so I can actually mount the blocks to it, which means it's actually supporting the whole thing as opposed to just sitting on top. It's actually connected into the blocks themselves, and I think that's not only going to help if something breaks, but when I change things in the future and I decide, hey, let's try the rail car thing, that will make it easier to rebuild the sections of these. And see there, it won't connect there normally, but I apparently, you know, it shifted just at the right moment, and instead of dropping, it decided to stay active like it was properly connected, even though if I was doing it on the base section, it probably would have fallen afterwards. And why did that just rotate? Weirdness with that. It's just, it randomly decides, hey, I'm going to rotate this time this way, and then the next time it doesn't do it. So it's very quirky still with a lot of the building elements of this. But there we go. Same design. And again, I raised it up, leaving the gap here specifically so I could put in the item dispenser right there like that, and that covers me. Like, I'm past 20 meters right now because we already calculated that last episode from each point for the power transfer. So I'm already past the limit of a switch, and yeah, I still have the item dispenser working, but it doesn't get me all the way to the next one. If I tried to go all the way to the next one, it would not make it. So I've just been putting one on every section. You know, it's not that expensive to actually make them, and it guarantees I'm going to have access to materials when I'm trying to build along this or repair or do whatever in the future to change and modify this to make it even better. But I can actually see now my solar installation spinny thingy, and it doesn't look to be spinning. That just may be the way they're rendering things so I don't see it, or it may be spinning so fast that it looks like it's standing still already at this distance. But I'm going to go ahead and try, and you can see how much time it actually is taking per section, even with like little mistakes here and there I have to fix. It does take a good few minutes to do a decent length of this. But I'm going to try to go ahead and get this finished today so we can at least build the support tower on the end where everything's going to connect in from the mining rigs, and hopefully have this ready to go where next week I can have it all linked in and working for full force production without having to come back over here and get the supplies and carry it back. No more ferrying supplies, just done, ready to go. Well, it's not quite finished yet, but I'm actually finally in range where I can actually see the solar thing spinning, and it's not spinning very quickly from here. It looks like it's also stopped, so I think because I've been away at the distance I was, it hasn't actually been rotating quickly enough to gather all the power it normally gets, and so it's actually not working correctly at that distance, which makes me a little concerned. Even though the mining rigs have been working and seem to have been working fine at that distance, that's not working. So it makes me wonder if there's going to be something weird with maybe the power traveling from the main base to here. But we'll find that out after I get this all done, I guess. And if there's a problem, then I'll just be keeping the little solar thing, or not even that. I would have to use something else. So I guess a uranium generator or something over there to keep things powered up. Another thing I've noticed, and I don't know if this is a factor of just how many item dispensers I'm connecting up, or the distance from the source of resources, i.e. the containers themselves, but it seems to be taking longer and longer with each item dispenser I place down in the chain. So I may go back and try to see if I can actually take out some of them and see if that makes a difference, just because I could probably take that one out and then still be covered between either this one or that one in the distance at some point in the future. But I am getting close to being done, and you can see there's that bit of framework from where I guesstimated before, and let's see if I get lined up right. I was not too far off on my guesstimate, so very close, and then we'll see about building the tower. Okay, I did not plan on this because I just kind of started building. I left all the switchboards off so I could come back and name them later, but this is power mining north 28, and so that's 29 and 30. I decided to go a little past where I put the framework just so I could have another even section, and I want to have it where it builds this way, like towards the other base from there. So I need to make sure, it's actually got room to expand outwards, which means, so yeah, I wanted to go the full length to the next one, and that's what I did. And now we're going to have 30 connectors. That's 30 connectors 20 meters away from each. So that's 600 meters of distance for all of these. There we go. Power mining north 30. What I want to do now, though, is because this is going to be a little different, it is going to kind of, you know, come off of here and trunk down is what I'm thinking for the actual conveyor section below. So this is actually going to be the back of the whole structure itself. And honestly, I could do like this instead. I could actually build like a platform thing that connects it in, if it will let me line it up right. I'm not sure if I can get this to line up evenly enough. Maybe? It's not, yeah, it lines up, it's just not going to be even everything else, so we'll do it differently. I don't want to do that where it's just uneven. Not totally OCD, but it's enough just to bother me for it. We'll do like this, and then we're going to build, actually, that's the right size for that, or no, it's not. So yeah, it's not going to line up. We'll do this. We'll just take one of these off. We'll build that one so it links in the same way as the other ones. And then I'll do this, maybe, or is that not, that's not even going to be the same depth, is it? That's not going to work. Oh, yeah, it is. Actually, it will. Okay, so we got that. So that will be like the roof area. So if I do have a cart, a rail car vehicle that comes here, it's going to come into a little covered station. And that's basically what this part is going to be. And then we'll have it, yeah, kind of extend out. I don't want it to be too big. I think that's enough. Because this is going to be kind of like a stopping point and maintenance station. And then everything's just going to link up to the top area and feed down below for both power and the conveyor system. We'll just do like this. Actually, why am I doing that? I'm not going to do it that way. Carefully take that out, and I'm going to use that. Use this connector. If it's going to, there we go. Oh no, that, like that, yes. There, perfect. And there we go. Now this one, yes. So it matches the upstairs. And then I can use those to basically build support struts down. Why is that not spinning now? That has like, ow. That has completely stopped. Why is this stopped? Like, is there too much power? No, it's all drained. Like, what the heck? Like, it's getting no power. I mean, there's sun right there. Okay, you know what? We'll turn this off. Ah! So it actually did drain to the point where it could not function. Interesting. Probably because of my production over here. Look at that. That stuff I just sat there and said, you know, I'm going to let this sit here and build so I have plenty of supplies. Alright, so I do have stuff over here for building more things. And that just made sure I didn't have a completely full mining setup. All right, well that's, yeah, it's wonky because of the curve of the planet. Planet curves, my base doesn't adjust for that. Or the bases don't adjust for that. I guess they really didn't expect you to build a super massive, long structure that actually doesn't curve. So yeah, you can see, as people have said in the comments, if I just keep building, eventually I am going to end up way in the air and hit the orbital ceiling at it, as it were, where I cannot build any higher, because this is just going to keep going higher and higher as the world curves underneath it. Oh, so maybe they'll fix that. Maybe they'll make it where it has a slight adjustment for it. Oh yeah, and that doesn't come out far enough, so we'll fix that now. So I don't think I'm going to need much coming off of this, but you never know. I might decide to add more, you know, pathways off of this later, and so I can always modify it. I do like the idea. I might have it where it connects into the wall or connects to a block here for additional support in case I mess up something. It doesn't drop the whole structure all the way down. Now, let's see. I am going to try. I think that should be a good enough height. So I want to go simpler this time with the support strut. So we're just going to do like this for now. And I might like embellish it later if I build it bigger and add bigger legs to it like I did with the actual base. But, you know, if this is just a dropping point for a car, then all I gotta do is have the car actually come up to it and park where I can step out. And then after that, I am done. That's really all I need. And, out of range now. Yep, there it goes. All right, back in range. Let me use this up. And I'm going to go collect some of these frames and get the rest of the legs built for this. So I've got the support struts built, and I decided to try one of the long sections for the conveyor, and it worked out perfectly to line up right there. So that means now I can actually sit here. I'm going to have it tie into the block there for that additional support, and then I'm just going to build the rest of the way down. Now, these do not look the best. Obviously, I could do probably something more with it, but right now I just want to get it basically done. So it's finished, and then start linking everything in. And I think what I will do is actually have it so that at the base of this, I am going to split off and have at least on one side, like the interior side of this, be, what I'm thinking is, like right here, yeah, have about like hit this height, and then I can just build out from there, or actually maybe not even that height. We'll go like right here and do like this, where it then will branch outwards. Or no, I do need to also figure out the post for the power placement. It's gonna have to be a little different than that. Yeah, so I might start with like doing all the conveyor lengths and get everything connected that way, and then put, you know, support posts as I go using this sort of method, like maybe, you know, the little 3-direction one that gives support to it, and kind of measure out the distance there. I think I'm going to leave that for now. See if I can actually get close enough to this dispenser. No, I cannot. I can only get close enough to get a few pieces. I did put a dispenser on, or item dispenser. Yeah, I did. Look. I'm actually out of mechanical parts. Wow, I didn't think that would happen. Okay, so that's a surprise. The curve of the planet is a bit of a problem with the design for stuff that is long distance builds. So you can see it's curving based on the distance from where I started the base, and curving for here based on the distance from that point of the base. So yeah, it's gonna make it look weird, but hey, it works in terms of I've got item production the whole way through. No problems with that. I didn't think I was running that low on the mechanical parts, but hey, I've built a lot of conveyor sections, so it's not a surprise. All right, so yes, that is it for today's episode. Hopefully, I will be able to get everything finished up and pretty much ready to start actually linking in all the mining rigs, get rid of those, you know, 3D printers that I won't need anymore at that point. And first and foremost, I'm gonna have to get a lot more mechanical parts or mechanical components built in order to even build the conveyor sections out. So it is definitely something now that my massive amount of production is coming into better play because of the big build going across. But it's also been a time-consuming thing, and this will still be a bit time consuming until I get it done. But once it's done, this is the framework for the next part, which will then be the east side mining site that's just up the hill for cobalt and silver and aluminum, I think, for that spot. And then I will be doing the next trunk over to where the uranium is harvested and finding some more places there where I can actually get gold and titanium. And then I may still keep the uranium as its own standalone, not connected, just because I want to see how much power I'm consuming right now. I've got enough for over 6 years of non-stop playtime right now in the base, and I've still got plenty more to produce, so I'm sure I should be fine just leaving it standalone and occasionally go up there and grab uranium, bring it back for processing, and let it just feed the power system automatically. But again, that's it for today's episode. If you enjoyed it, be sure to hit that like button, leave me a comment below, and hit subscribe if you haven't done so already. As always, I'm your host, Mr. Spicy. Thanks so much for watching. Be sure to keep it spicy this week, and I will see you in the next video.